This message found you for a reason you may not yet understand. You are not here by random chance. Something in your life is reaching a turning point you might not see clearly. Perhaps your inner season where everything feels unstable, where old foundations are shaking, dreams deferred, connections strained, a persistent whisper asking, "Is this all there is?" That heaviness you carry isn't a sign of failure. It is the signature of a profound transition. In the deepest psychological traditions, the moments that feel like breaking are often the precursors to a profound rebuilding. You are standing at the threshold between what was and what is about to be. Think about it. Why, at this precise moment of vulnerability, would you be drawn to these words? The universe doesn't send random signals. This is not an accident. It is an alignment. And what it's pointing toward might be the most significant personal renaissance of your life. The first principle, discomfort, is the compass. We are conditioned to run from pain, to medicate it, to hide it away. Yet, what if your deepest discomfort is not an enemy to defeat, but a guide to follow? True consciousness doesn't bloom in comfort. It awakens in the fertile soil of struggle. When life becomes too painful to ignore, you are forced to stop. In that stillness, you can no longer outrun the parts of yourself you've neglected. The persona you show the world begins to fracture, and what lies beneath starts to speak. This isn't destruction. It is revelation. Recall a recent hurt that felt eerily familiar. That sting is more than circumstance. It's an echo from within. It's your inner world saying, "Look here, this needs your attention." These painful echoes are not punishments. They are urgent memos from your own soul, delivered in the only language sharp enough to get past your distractions. They dismantle old, shaky structures so something authentic can be built. Your breaking point is often your awakening point. Think of a tree in a forest. It grows within the space it's given, shaped by the light it can reach. Only a storm strong enough to break a branch creates an opening for entirely new growth toward a different sky. Your pain is that storm. It creates the necessary opening. Why do people often report their greatest clarity arrived only after a devastating loss? Because that loss shattered the lens through which they viewed themselves. Suddenly, they weren't looking at a reflection crafted for others. They were staring directly at the raw material of their own spirit. The pain spotlighted the false scripts, the borrowed identities, the quiet compromises. It didn't create a void. It revealed the space where your true self has been waiting to expand. So if you are aching right now, don't rush to silence it. Listen, it is the sound of your own consciousness stretching awake. The second principle, embrace your inner dialogue. When pain opens the door, who or what steps through? It is the entirety of what you've hidden, not just your fears and angers, but also your dormant courage and stifled creativity. This is your wholeness waiting to be acknowledged. But the aspects we exile don't vanish. They gather in the shadows, gaining influence from the darkness. Have you ever been surprised by the intensity of your own reaction? A criticism that leveled you, a betrayal that unleashed a rage that seemed disproportionate. That's not just about the present moment. That's a buried part of your history, breaking the surface, demanding to finally be heard. This is not a moment of weakness. It is a critical opportunity. The moment your hidden self demands a seat at the table is the moment your real transformation gets its fuel. The goal is not to banish these shadow elements. It is to converse with them, to integrate them. Strength isn't the absence of weakness. It is the conscious relationship with it. That locked away anger holds immense protective energy. That hidden sorrow contains profound depth. Your task is not to fight these parts, but to understand their origin. What are they trying to protect? What need did they arise to meet? Try this. When a difficult emotion surfaces, don't judge it. Interview it. Take a notebook and let it speak. If it's anxiety, ask it, what are you trying to prevent? If it's grief, ask, what love are you representing? They are wounded guardians from your past, using the only methods they know to keep you safe. By listening, you reclaim their power. You shift from being controlled by the shadow to being informed by it. This is the alchemy of growth, turning buried pain into conscious power. The third principle. Repetition is the unconscious teaching. Have you noticed the same lessons returning in different costumes? The same type of draining relationship? The same flavor of disappointment? The same ceiling you keep hitting? This isn't bad luck. This is your unconscious mind, a relentless and compassionate teacher. There's a profound psychological truth. What you refuse to confront consciously will repeat itself in your external reality. The unconscious speaks the language of pattern and consequence. A door slams shut not to punish you, but to force you to look at a different, more authentic path you've been ignoring. That feeling of, here we go again, is the curriculum. Each recurrence is the lesson being presented more loudly, more clearly, until you finally choose to learn it. For instance, someone who fears abandonment might unconsciously pick partners who are emotionally unavailable, not to suffer, but to finally confront and heal that core wound. Someone who doubts their worth might sabotage successes, not because they don't want them, but because the unconscious is forcing a showdown with their self-belief. These aren't failures of character. They are the psyche's ingenious, if painful, method, of course. Correction. The collapse of an old way isn't an ending. It's the unconscious creating the necessary vacuum for a new truth to enter. The pattern will repeat until the lesson is learned. Imagine your psyche as a river. Your conscious mind is the boat. If you stubbornly try to row upstream against the current of your true nature, you'll exhaust yourself. The unconscious creates rapids, those turbulent repeating problems, not to drown you, but to spin your boat around and point it downstream. The turmoil is a directional signal. The fourth principle, the journey to wholeness. This leads us to the core of the process, becoming who you were meant to be, not who you were conditioned to be. This is the journey of reclaiming your entirety. It is not about adding new layers to your personality. It is about shedding the costumes that never fit, the roles you played for your family, the masks you wore for acceptance, the ambitions you adopted because they were expected. This shedding can feel like disorientation. You are no longer the old self, but the new self isn't fully formed yet. This in-between space, this fertile void, is where the real magic happens. It's where your soul rebuilds its architecture. People on this path often describe a simple, undeniable sense of rightness when they align with an authentic choice. It's not always explosive joy. It's a deep, quiet resonance, like a key sliding into its correct lock. Your body often knows first, a feeling of ease, a release of tension, a natural energy that flows where before there was resistance. This is your inner compass, your true north, reactivating. The journey is inward. It's a gathering of all your scattered pieces, the proud and the ashamed, the strong and the tender, and understanding that they all belong. Wholeness is not perfection, it is inclusion. When you stop fighting your own fragments, you become integrated. You move from being a scripted character to being the author of your story. The fifth principle, the practice of sacred stillness. How do you begin to hear this inner author? You must cultivate stillness. In a world addicted to noise and action, the most rebellious act is to sit quietly with what is. When pain, anxiety, or emptiness arises, the modern impulse is to fix, distract, or numb. But what if the medicine is not in the escape, but in the full, brave attendance to the feeling itself? Don't analyze it. Don't positive. Think it away. Just be with it. Feel its weight, its texture, its location in your body. Imagine this emotion as a child knocking at your door. It doesn't need your solutions. It needs your presence. It needs to be seen and acknowledged. In that attentive stillness, a transmutation occurs. The sharp edges of panic often soften into valuable information. The crushing weight of grief can become a clear map of what you truly love. By holding space for your discomfort, you drain it of its hidden power over you and convert it into conscious insight. The feeling is not the truth. The message beneath it is. This practice of sitting in the fire of your own experience is what forges true inner resilience. It's how you stop being a victim of your emotions and become a student of your soul. The sixth principle, trusting the inner whisper. From the soil of stillness grows your most reliable guide, your intuitive wisdom. This is not magical thinking. It's your subconscious intelligence, which processes millions of data points, presenting its conclusion as a gut feeling, a knowing, or a resonant image. Intuition is the language of your wholeness. It speaks in whispers, a sudden clarity, a physical sensation of expansion or contraction, a dream symbol that lingers. To hear it, you must quiet the committee of doubt in your mind. Try this tonight. Before sleep, ask a simple, open question about a current challenge, then let it go. Pay attention to the first thought upon waking, or the song that gets stuck in your head, or the unexpected conversation you overhear. The unconscious loves to communicate through such symbolic channels. Another practice, tune into your body's yes and no. Before making a choice, pause. Take 2 deep breaths. Or does it feel tight, heavy, constricted? Then propose option B. Your somatic response is often your intuition cutting through the noise of pros and cons. This inner whisper doesn't always give you the easiest path, but it consistently points toward the path of alignment, the one that leads back to your authentic core. The seventh principle, recognizing the shift. As you practice, subtle changes will begin. They are the quiet proof your inner world is reorganizing. You may notice you no longer react with the same volcanic intensity to old triggers. This isn't numbness, it's integration. The wounded part has been heard, so it no longer needs to scream. You might find yourself naturally letting go of people or pursuits that drain you, not with drama, but with a quiet, firm, no thank you. Your energy becomes more discerning. Synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences, may increase. You think of a book, and a friend mentions it unprompted. You have a question, and the next podcast you play addresses it directly. These are not mere accidents. They are external echoes of your internal alignment. When your inner state shifts, the universe seems to respond in kind, offering signs, resources, and connections that support your new direction. It's the feeling of being guided. Keep a small journal of these moments. Over time, you'll see a map forming, confirming you're on the right path. The universe conspires to support an authentic life. The most beautiful sign is the emergence of a peace that doesn't depend on external conditions, a spaciousness inside your chest, a feeling of being fundamentally okay, even amidst challenges. This is the peace of self-reconciliation. It is the ultimate sign that you're coming home to yourself. If you have stayed with me this far, something significant is already moving within you. You have not just consumed information. The external markers of your comeback may not be visible yet, but the internal architecture is being rebuilt. Remember, the most profound transformations are not loud. They are quiet revolutions of the soul. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your only task is to remain faithful to the quiet voice within, to the signs, to the process of becoming whole. From the moment you chose to look inward with courage, your story irrevocably turned a page. The old chapter is closing. The new one is being written by a wiser, more integrated you. Thank you for walking this part of the path with me. If this resonated, if you felt a spark of recognition, then let that be your fuel. Your journey is yours, but you don't have to walk it alone. If you want to keep exploring this depth together, please support this channel. A like on this video tells the algorithm this message matters. Subscribing to Winds of Thought and turning on notifications is your way of choosing to stay connected to this conversation. It's a small signal to yourself that you are committed to your own awakening. Many others are here making the same choice. Your greatest comeback isn't a future event. It is the series of present moment choices to listen, to integrate, and to become. It has already begun.